Alright, what's going on everybody, it's Liam here, and welcome to today's video on the channel. And in today's video, I have a commentary for y'all, and I'll be talking about all of the new spell changes in week 1 of Spring Test Realm. Now, I'll be covering all of the Gambit changes, as well as the entire balance audit in this video. If you find this video useful at all, a like, rating, and a sub is always appreciated. Again, I do post every single day, if not every other day, so I'd really appreciate it. And if you want to stop by one of the streams, it's every day, 7 p.m. Central Time, over on Twitch. And yeah, without further ado, let's get right into the video. Alright, so starting off with the new Gambit and Scion changes. I'm in my Discord here because we posted all of the new Test Realm stuff in the Discord. So, first thing and the most important thing, all Scions are trainable on any school. So for example, if I'm on my Storm right now, I can actually go ahead and train Life Scion if I want to on the Storm. So KI is basically trying to push their dual school agenda here, as we all know. And the next thing I want to talk about is the conditional of the Scions. Now, they have standardized a couple of things. The 7-pip Scions, which is now Fire Scion and I believe Life Scion, both of these are lower pips because it takes a lot of pips to set up the Gambit with Oni's Forge, you know, with Meltdown and stuff like that. So typically what you'll see is the harder to set up Gambits are going to be lower pips. And then if we go up to 9 pips, you'll see we're at Traps, Blades, and Weaknesses, right? That's about 1 turn a tempo, LE Blade, LE Trap, Fuel, threefold, right? You'll see that trend here on the Blade, Weakness, and Trap. And then 11 pips, we obviously see Scion. For Balance, we see Scion for Ice as well. And we'll also see the Djinns. So you'll see that Djinn and Dumoni are now 11 pips as well with Ice Scion. So this makes this card a lot harder to combo, but because the damage got a lot better, it's like quite literally a Storm Gambit at this point that's free. So these cards are absolutely insane. So yeah, basically the TLDR is the fact that you can train any of these spells, the Scion, the Oni, or the Djinn, on any school, and the pip cost of the Gambits got standardized. 11 pips is Shield Gambits, 9 pips is Trap, Weakness, and Trap Gambits, and 7 pips are Hot/Dot Gambits. Now the next thing I want to cover in the video is going to be the Balance Audit. Now some of y'all may have seen this, you may not have seen it. I briefly brought it up in my video yesterday, but we'll be going over it in detail today. So I'm gonna obviously be on my balance here, go over to balance spells, and we'll start off with the rank 1 spell. So we have Scarab. It hits and then it swaps a blade. So if I have a Fire Blade on me and my opponent has a Storm Blade, I will get his Storm Blade and they'll get my Fire Blade after that hit goes through. So in a way, it's kind of like a blade counter if you don't blade at all on your balance. That this actually is a pretty decent blade counter. And it's 1 pip unlike 2 pips before. So I don't know, I might give this a shot personally. And I think it's a neat change. Next up, we have Scorpion. Now this one is kind of like Splash Squatch. You swap a shield and then you hit for 2 pips. So it's pretty good, honestly, for the amount of pips it is. Again, this used to be 3 pips, now it's 2, so it's a lot more accessible. So if I have a Fire Shield again, and my opponent has a Storm Shield, and I do this card, the shields will swap the Fire and the Storm on me and my opponent, and then the hit will go through. Unlike Scarab, where the hit goes through first, and then it swaps, right? It's very important to read the order of stuff that happens on the text here. But this is a pretty cool card. I'm not sure how usable it will be. Again, I'll be trying all of this stuff on stream probably tonight at the time of me recording this audio, these new spells. A lot of these other cards did not get changed, so I'll just skip over to the next page here. We have Locust Swarm. Now, this card actually got a pretty big nerf, in my opinion, this update, which is the, I think, second or third time this card has been nerfed, which is pretty sad to see. However, basically, I think you do about 60 less damage now, and you only swap 2 traps instead of 3. So basically what that means is this won't be a hard counter to trap stackers anymore. So you have to use this a lot more situationally. And let's say you use this against a fire, right? You swap 2 traps, they could still blow you up with a buff or 2 in this meta because of how imbalanced stats are. So I'm not sure this card will be good anymore. I think I'll keep packing it on my balance for now to see if I can have any success with it at all. I really do like this card, and I really hope to see that it doesn't fall out of the meta, but who knows, maybe it was too good, maybe it wasn't, I guess time will tell, but a pretty interesting and controversial change for sure. Gearhead Destroyer. Now, this card actually got a buff this update, which is a little bit odd to me because this spell was so controversial in the community for like the past year, you know? So it swaps the heals and damage over times. So let's say you Hunting Worm on a life, for example, you will trade the entire spell effect over right away, basically, and it'll just destroy them, you know? Or it'll counter Frostbite, Poison, Skeletal Dragon, Snow Angel, right? Which is pretty good. But this card got a buff in like the damage per pip, actually. I think it used to be like 170 to 190, and now it's like 225 to 285. So this is not even a bad damage move now, and you can obviously push stuff. So really good card. Honestly, I will probably start packing it on my balance within this update now. Scales of Destiny unfortunately was not changed within this update. I hope that makes it into like week 2 a test realm or week 3, however long this will last, but I really hope they can get a scales change within this update. Spec Blast right here. Now mine is bugged because of the current path I had it on. King's Isle is trying to fix that, but basically how this card works right here is it will hit and do within that damage range, obviously depending on what you hit. And then the amount of blades you have left on you will give you 40 blades. So this reminds me a lot of Mockinspiel, kinda. So let's say I throw a Spear Blade up and then I Spec Blast, right? It'll just hit, but then it will give me 3 different 40 blades to combo with, and that is extremely potent on a school like Balance. This makes Balance by far like the best school in the game alongside Myth, because now they have every stat in the game, and now they have like all the best cards in the game as well. So Balance is going to be an absolute demon even more this update. And I really do look forward to running this Spec Blast card, because as somebody who plays pretty offensively, it seems pretty good. Last, and certainly not least, I suppose, would be the new Hydra change. Now, the TLDR Hydra is basically, it's no longer an offensive move, it is now a defensive move. The best way I view this card is like a shield counter that is like Jin's defense on a Hydra. So let's say my opponent is going for a shield Gambit. They have, I don't know, 3 Jin's defense shields and an Ellie shield on, okay? So I'll cast the Hydra, then it'll put 3 35 shields on me, and then it'll knock 6 of those shields off, right? Because obviously, Ellie shield, and then 3 Jin's defense shields, obviously. So you can remove up to like, you know, like 6 shields around with this Hydra, and you can protect yourself with a pretty decent sized shield. Not too big, but not too small. A pretty good sized shield. So in my opinion, this is definitely an S tier shield counter for whatever school you want to run it on. Now you don't really just have the idea to just Jin's defense anymore. You can, but now you can Hydra and go from there, which I think is a pretty darn cool idea, and I will definitely be trying to dual school this on my other characters. I'm not sure if Top Path Hydra will be worth running, if that's even better than TC Hydra. Don't really know, TBH, honestly. Time will tell with the meta, with what goes on. But that is really everything we have for the new spell changes of week 1 to my knowledge. No TC bans yet, unfortunately, on cards like Sabretooth and Calendar, which basically, if you don't know, are the 2 most broken 10-pip cards in the game, period. So it's kind of upsetting to see that they're still there, but we obviously should have a couple more weeks of Test Realm for King's Hall to hopefully do something about that. But yeah, that is everything I got for the video, y'all. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something new. If you enjoyed the video, again, a like rating would always be appreciated, and I will see you guys on the next upload tomorrow. Thank you for watching, and as always, take care, guys.